Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ads Clinic presentation, which is why do Meta ads still work? Well, still work so well. So let me introduce myself. I'm Nick Boddington. I'm the owner of the Ads Clinic, which is, as it says on the tin, is a clinic where we help fix your ads, where we work with companies, essentially trying to get you the best results that we can with a really high success rate. And that's why you can see that I'm sitting in a little clinic. So it's a little bit quirky, but we are here to do serious things. And that's why I call myself the doctor. So today, I want to go through a presentation where we're going to be looking at why do meta ads still work so well, and understanding the mechanics behind effective social advertising. This with the agency that I run, whether it's the Ads Clinic or Let's Run Social as an agency, we predominantly specialize in meta ads, Facebook ads as we still know them as, which is Facebook and Instagram. We do TikTok, we do LinkedIn, and we by far prefer Meta. The audience targeting, the way you can build ads, the way you can test. Even though we all moan about Meta and we find it, I'm sure everyone can sit here now thinking how hard it is to build an ad and do all this. But it's like everything. Once you know how to do something, you can do it. And though Meta is always changing and it is a thorn in everyone's side, the results are staggering. And during this presentation, I'm actually going to show you two examples of some results that are happening right now for a couple of clients. And then at the end, we're just going to go through building an ad. Actually, I'm going to take you through an ads manager account, one of my own accounts, and actually show you the sort of simplicity of building an ad, because there are things in there that can get really, really complicated and overwhelming for people when they first start doing this. So I'm going to share my screen now and let's crack on with the presentation. So as everyone can see this, I'm sure. Right, so slide, let me just get used to my controls. And then we can go ahead. There we go. Right, so these are some of the companies that work for us. We have in the agency, we have Enterprise Cars, Verizon, Effective Home, CB Heat Pumps being bought out by EDF. So some really big names now. I think with the creation of the ads clinic as well, which helps people run their ads, we have these large companies who trust us and use us to build their ads successfully and get the results successfully. And then from our learnings, the ads clinic was created because there are so many thousands or millions of companies out there that struggle just to get going on Facebook effectively. And that's what the ad clinic was created about. So if you do want to talk to me one-on-one, I offer a 30-minute call where I can jump in. Predominantly, you're already running ads, and I can help tweak these things and try and make them better. But if you want to have a chat just about where you are, any questions, I'm happy to jump on that call and we can share that link with you in this presentation as well. So what's on the agenda? We've got the power of Facebook user base. We've got advanced targeting capabilities, cost effectiveness, ad format diversity, robust analytics, continuous platform enhancements, and then setting up a quick ad. And if we've got time, we'll do a little bit of a quick Q&A at the end. So I like to talk, but I'm going to keep this nice and short because I know that you guys are all on your lunch breaks or something at 1 o'clock. So let's keep it to time, and then we can go across and look at an ad afterwards. So the power of Facebook user base. So since the first quarter of 2004, the number of daily active users has now reached 2 billion people, which is incredible. And with a population in the UK of 68, which is where we all are and where we're going to be running our ads, approximately 44 million are on Facebook users, which is 66% of the total population, which is mad. Now, you'll probably hear you say, well, I don't see on Facebook that much, but it's not just on Facebook. When we're putting we talk Facebook, we talk Meta. I differentiate the two. It's one of those, it's whatever you want to call it. But Meta owns WhatsApp, it owns Instagram, it owns Facebook, amongst other things. And also when you're running ads, it can go out to an audience network as well. So where it's got its ownership and it's got its fingers, this is where we can place our ads. And out of all the, as I said earlier, out of all the results that we get back from our clients on the different platforms, Facebook enables us to get the best results. It's where we get the best CPAs, or the cost per lead or cost per acquisition. It gives us the best use setup. And I know that TikTok is coming in here really quickly. And TikTok, from my point of view as an advertiser, has definitely changed the way consumers consume the content. And we're finding it very, very hard, or especially clients are, to keep up with that content creation. But at the same time, Facebook is just where people are. It's where we see adverts, it's where we convert. It's still a lot harder to get conversions in TikTok. The ages are different, even though it's going up at the moment in age range. And so advertising is coming a lot more, but it's a harder place to make decisions. Most of it sits in TikTok Shop. If you don't have TikTok Shop and you're not that sort of product-based company, you're going to find it harder. So the audience diversity is massive. All genders, age groups, and interests. I had 2 calls yesterday talking about they're like lifts, stair lifts, and the older generation. Facebook's absolutely perfect for that. I'd even probably switch off LinkedIn when it came to actually, sorry, not LinkedIn, Instagram, when it came to advertising for that older generation, depending on what their service of the business for the client is. User touch points, regularly used by millions, created repeat exposure opportunities, and 70% of Facebook users visit daily, providing advertisers with frequent touch points. In fact, last year I was talking about the fact that the average user scrolls the height of the Eiffel Tower every day on Meta, and it's now gone to 3 times the Eiffel Tower. That just shows you how much time consumers are spending on this platform, amongst others, but specifically this platform that we're talking about. And there's a lot of noise there. So, these particular sessions I'm going to do with you all is about how we break through that noise, how we can get our content to resonate so that we can get the leads and the purchases we all dream of. Advanced targeting capabilities. So Facebook is becoming, or has become, a content generator. Okay, so you are going to get better results if your content is on point. And what is on point, we don't know yet. You've got to start, we've got to test, we've got to do different things to figure out what is working, what is resonating. But at the end of the day, it is still an amazing database, so to speak. So if we go back 3-4 years, you would really select, and you still can, on interest, the age demographics, where they are in geolocations. All this really becomes key. But where it's going against advertisers at the moment is the fact that Facebook wants to go broad. So if you're selling gym equipment and you're going to go people who have a home gym and they're interested in online shopping, and your audience comes out at 80,000 people, it's not like LinkedIn where a small audience works. We need to be in the millions with Facebook, which is why we usually we're going more to a broader audience, and we're allowing Facebook to use its AI to help do these. Further to our own cold audiences that we might create using this sort of diagram on the right, we've got custom audiences. So we're able to retarget people. We can create lookalike audiences to help with cold targeting. So the lookalike audience, people get confused thinking it's a retargeting. It's not retargeting. A lookalike is taking an audience of a custom audience of, say, people who've purchased your product or use your service. Let's say there's 1,000 of them. It will create a lookalike of up to 10 million, which look like those people, but the lookalike is still cold. So really important, remember, it's not retargeting, it's a lookalike. We could retarget on video views. So good technique is if you're using a bit of video, even if it's 15 seconds long, you can retarget people who watch that video by 3 seconds, by 25%, 50%. So you can get the higher intent people. You can then retarget them. You can build a lookalike on them. You can do all this. Now, you can do this on other platforms. Facebook's just great at it. And as we go through these sessions, I'll want to introduce how we can look at the metrics once you've got a campaign running. And I just want to make it really easy to you, so you can actually turn into a good advertiser yourself in these platforms. So this is one of the areas of confusion at the moment. And if you listen to any of my podcasts, it goes backwards and forwards. And I was a favorite of the conversion going to a website, which you can see on the left. And then it was all about going back to an instant form. An instant form is a Facebook form. And now I've gone back to the website. And the reason being is because iOS 14 came out 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and that messed up. So Apple basically said, no Facebook, no anyone else, no one basically. You're not going to track any of the people who use Apple products. We're switching that off. So that was a real kick in the teeth for Facebook. It was a real kick in the teeth for advertisers. And we've basically had to rely on the platforms to really speed up how they sort that problem out. Now they have sorted it out. We've always had a pixel on the site. The pixel is essentially Facebook's brain, and then based off the pixel, we also have server to server. So where your website lives or is hosted by, that communicates back now to the servers at Facebook, and we are able to communicate in that way rather than relying on all the cookies and things like that. So what we used to do was send people, if we're doing lead gen, for instance, we would put an ad on and it would say, hey, here's a special offer for you, 20% off our services. Someone goes, yeah, definitely interested in that. They click on the ad and it takes them through to your website, your landing page. Now, iOS messed that up because the information that was coming back wasn't accurate. It was, let's say you had 10 clicks and Meta said you had 8 of those became, well, I'd be stupid. Let's say 20 clicks, 8 of those became leads, but you're saying on your website, hold on a minute, we got like 1 lead. So it wasn't accurate. So we moved away from that. Meta spent a lot of time on its instant forms, making these instant forms really super duper cool. They're great. They're great at getting people through. But what we found in the last 6 months is the amount of bots that are on Meta is messing up the information that goes into an instant form. So it's essentially the bots are stealing my name, putting my details into the instant form, submitting it, you getting me, your then sales team rings me up and goes, oh, hi, Nick Boddington. And I go, no, I didn't fill that form. I don't know what you're talking about. And it's really messing up what's going on. So all of my clients now have gone back to sending it to a landing page off Facebook, and the results are amazing. And I'm going to show you through some of those results as we go. So this is one of these areas where it's like, what do I do? Do I do an instant form or do I do a website? I would go for the website at the moment, or landing page, but there are reasons why we can use an instant form. Again, if you want to jump on a call with me and discuss what you're doing, we can go through that. So this is what I mean by going off Meta sales funnel, right? So this is when we are doing it on our website, just in case you're sitting there thinking, I don't really know what he means by these landing pages. This is where we have the landing page, and the landing page goes through to we've got the ad on the left here. That ad, you look at it, you're thinking, okay, I'm interested in galvanized steel. And then you go through to their landing page, which is where you can fill in the form. Now, the idea of the landing page is that they can't click anywhere else. We just want them to see the form, fill in the details and go. If you send them to your website, then they might go off somewhere else. They might see a little offer on your tabs at the top and say, hey, find out more, or testimonials, or our products. And they click away. But the problem is we've then probably lost them because they're probably not going to come back and see what we're about. So we want to stick to a landing page. This is the on Meta. So this is where we've got the same ad again. We've got the same TTA of learn more, but now it opens up a form in Meta. And this is where we're getting the information wrong. And I can see actually one of our guests here, Pauline, who I know very well. We've been going through these trials and tribulations, and we've actually gone back to an actual web landing page because we found that the information that's being through when it goes into the CRM just wasn't any good. It just wasn't real people. They weren't high intent. So we moved away from these. But you can see here that Facebook is doing a really good job of making this look good. It's just not working. And if you were to get 100 leads in a month and you found that only 2 of them were actually real and 1 of them may be looking like it's going to convert, you're going to be pretty disappointing. And, as an agency, we actually, had some conversations with a few clients where this wasn't working. So we've had to switch things up. So simplification. So the benefits. So we've got simpler sales funnels, okay, were producing better results. Sitting on the fence here, like we've just said for a couple of minutes there, what's the right way to do things? Do we do this? Do we do that? I know a lot of you are going to be thinking, well, I don't even have a landing page to be able to use. So, how do you go about creating a landing page? And then users want quick and easy actions and simpler sales funnels. And we're going to try and meet their expectations. So how do we do that as well? So I'm sort of like in 2 minds at the moment. And, this recording isn't like, it's looking back at the year, but I'm talking about what's going on right now. And what I'm seeing with clients right now is the fact that we're all about trying to make it easy for people, but at the same time, we've got to get higher intent. So if we make it slightly harder for someone to come through, then we're going to get a higher intent person. And when you look at some of the results that I'm going to show you on some of the next slides, you can see how people are making the money. It's just what's right for your business, what's right for your service, whether it's e-com, whether it's a service company. You've got to think of your offer. You've got to present that offer back to people in the right way. And if we make it too easy, we often get a load of crap. If we make it harder, we get some better people, but we can't make it too hard. So a lot to think about there, and whether and what you're doing that's right. Okay, right. So this is actually an example of a client I have at the moment, which is a wedding photography company. Right. So this shows you a really good example of where things can go right if you get everything right, and it also comes down to the products or service that you're trying to sell and you're trying to get out there, and how much people want that, how competitive it is. So wedding photography, it's probably a pretty they do videography and photography, competitive market, but they're also going to a radius. So they only go a certain mile. I think they go like 50 miles, but they're looking, from the success they've had here, they're now looking at going into London because they want to get into those beautiful establishments, venues that they can do their weddings from. So if you look here, these guys from the 1st of the 11th to the 28th, so this isn't anything fictional. This is completely like up to date. They spent 788, it's actually pounds, not dollars. They've had 26 leads. Of those 26 leads that came through, they managed to get on a call with 16 of them, which is like, it's amazing. Then they have a cost per call of £49. Now, these guys are actually using their own landing page. So they created a landing page. They were doing on form, and they found, when I first had my call with them, they found that the quality wasn't there. Cost per lead of £30, the 61% percentage lead to book, CPM, which is how much it costs to show 1,000 people their ad, cost per click, CTRs, I'm going down. Now they've booked 6 wedding. So they've actually done a special offer where I think they're usually £4,000 for the package. They're doing an offer of 3,000, and obviously that offer is helping. They've signed 6 people up, and they've done revenue of 18,000 in November, which is unbelievable, which is cost per acquisition of 131. You can see they're really good ROAS, and just amazing. So these guys are fantastic. This is actually going off Meta stats. Now, when I had a call with them last week, they're actually saying their leads is more like 40 odd, because they're having people see their ads a few times. They're not actually clicking through to the website. They're going away. They're doing a bit of due diligence, and then they're making their own contact with that company. So what happens then is that Facebook isn't able to attribute it back to the ad, but they know that the only thing that they're doing are these ads, and it's working for them really, really well. So cost effectiveness. So the lower cost ROI, the average cost per click on Facebook is significantly lower than Google Ads, and advertisers can see higher engagement and ROI with smaller budgets. What happens here? I'm not a complete Google ad expert, but I am hearing off a lot of my clients that at the moment, Google is kind of panicking a bit with what's going on. Social is really, really taking over that space at the moment. More and more people are sitting on Meta, sitting on TikTok, and they're making decisions earlier on in the funnel. So a Google funnel is predominantly your bottom of funnel. So it's where people will see an ad a few times, and then they go to Google and they Google it. Because if you're not a big brand, people have never heard of you. So unless they're being triggered to think about what you are, and you might remind them, and they go, okay, I need to do that. And they go and Google it. I've done it a few times this week, and things have reminded me, but it's been social that has reminded me to then go and Google it. So what happens a lot of the time is that the client might go, well, we're making this from Google. We're not making as much from social. But then if they decide that they're going to switch social off, and I've seen this happen, especially on e-com, is that they don't see the attribution coming back to Meta. They saw it on Google. They switch Meta off. Their Google drops down, because unless you're that big brand that people know of you anyway, they need to find out from social, because they're not going to Google something they don't know about. So that's where the two of them can work really, really well. But you need to look at them as a whole. instead of trying to work out which one's better than the other, because you'll just never get to the answer. Small budgets work really, really well. We can start daily, but I've put $1 there. It's not $1, it's more like $10. I need a bit of a speller there. So those days are gone. That's like 8 years ago. You could do it for $1. But for $10, I get this question asked all the time. It's like, what's my minimum amount that I can spend? And you can start with $10. The more you have, I would say the better, but only if it is better, because what generally happens if you've got a small audience, because you're going to Radius, you're going to find that you put too much money into it, your frequency is going to go up because that audience sees your ad too much, and it actually goes against you, and then your cost per lead or your sales go actually down because Facebook's struggling. So it's actually finding the right path. If you're doing a 20, I've had one today, a 25-mile radius of a clinic in Portland in America, we are actually spending about 100 a day. America's a lot bigger, we can go a lot harder. But we're already started to see his frequency go up a lot quicker. So what do we do there? We either bring his budgets down, but then he hasn't got his leads, or do we keep on top of the content? And as long as we're putting new content into the algorithm, into new campaigns and into new ads, that the customers, potential customers in that radius, are seeing different content, and they can make decisions. And it might just be a different type of ad that clicks them through, whether it might be a static or a video text overlay. So many different combinations. Pay for performance model, choose between paying for clicks, impressions, or conversions. Now, you have those options. I would always go with conversions. It's one of the biggest mistakes in meta advertising, is that people choose traffic campaign, or they're thinking, oh, I want as many people as possible to see us, so I'm going to choose awareness campaign, and they don't get any results. Or they choose traffic and they don't get any results. And it's a bit unfair, actually, because in Meta and other platforms, they always have an objective which is called traffic, but traffic will just bring you people who like to click things. We always have to go for conversions, and I'm going to show you the difference when we go into have a look at the ads and set them up. Ad format diversity. So ad types and use cases. So image ads, perfect for simple promotions, and there is no right or wrong whether you use video or whether you go with statics. I think there's a case for all of it. I think it all works brilliantly. One of the things at the moment that we see working really, really well, whether it's on static or on a video, is using a text overlay over the top of the ad. It works really well. It's like a hook. So rather than having like a headline on our text, or as you see here down at the bottom, it's on the top. So just above her head on that video that's playing now, you could have you could test out different hooks. So, you know, oh my God, I can't believe this hair salon, or the hair salon I always dreamt of. And then people are intrigued by what they're seeing, and they watch more of the video and they click through. As of now, compared to last year, we have seen that if you used a video for an ad, you get loads of viewage, and obviously people are watching your ad, and we'd see a low click-through rate. What we're seeing now is that the click-through rate is higher on a video than it is on a static. So then you start weighing, well, which one should I use over the other? It's just good to test an array of things, and just see which performs best. Then it comes into your budget. So I know I completely understand from your point of view, it's a minefield of what to do, but it's just trial and testing different things. Video ads, higher engagement, ideal for storytelling, as you can see on this video here. It'd be hard to show everything that's going on in a static. Carousel ads showcase multiple products or features. So again, you could actually chop something like this up, make static ads about it, and then just put a little bit of a description. Customization options. So ads can include call to action buttons, e.g. shop now, learn more, and dynamic ads automatically personalized content for users. So dynamic ads is something that I love in this platform. They're actually taking it away from dynamic ads. So when you're building ads, you might see dynamic, or you might see something, it might be not there, and you see flexible. Essentially, the two things built exactly the same way, apart from the only downside to flexible is that you can't look at your results individually by each ad. So essentially, the way both of them work is you build an ad. This is how I'm going to show it off this. You build an ad, you choose flexible, and it means you can put up to 10 images and videos in the same ad, along with 5 text and 5 headlines. So it's a great way of testing, and it's a great way of giving Meta as much as it can in one ad to really start personalizing the content for the different users who come on to see your ads. And it just enables it to put more content out to the same user without the user getting annoyed with seeing the same thing over and over again. So here's another, going from like the types of ads. This is a new client of ours, and this is a young lad here. So actually the business owner is this young lad, 20 years old in America. And he is a very, very clever lad, because what he does is he in America, you have to basically do an exam called an LSAT to get into law school. And so if you want to go to Yale or Harvard or something like that, you'll do your normal exams, but then you have to have this LSAT. So you have to do another bit of a revision, do the stat, and the university will actually say what you need to score to get into university. Now, this lad here got 182, which is 100% score on this exam. And I think he said that only 52 people this year have scored a complete perfect score, which means that he has essentially done now any university in America, Yale, Harvard, will give him free tuition because they want these people in their universities. He's then seen that as a business opportunity and created a course where you can go on, like my ad course, you can go on for 30 minutes, have a free consultation with him, talk about what you get, and then people sign up for an $1,800 course, which is 10 calls with him in a group environment. Now you can see here, he's on his third week now, so we haven't got his third week. First, second week, spent 300, spent 200. He had set up like the last one, 9 leads and 14 leads, of which 6 and 9 turned into discovery calls. And then he's got week 1, he only did 1 booking, 1,800 quid. Then he's done 3 bookings the next week, and I'll be on a call with him next week to see how his third week has gone. But I think it's going very, very well. But you can see he's already making some serious money from Facebook ads. And again, he's not using Facebook forms in platform. He's sending people to a landing page with a little bit of information, and then it goes to his calendar. But you can see here, he says, want to go to a top law school. So we can just put little bits of text overlay, which is going to help people make a decision rather than just looking at the top. We've actually, on this particular ad, we've actually used the same hook at the top, on the headline, and in the thing. So we are really not leaving any room for error of anyone misinterpreting what he's saying. So great results there for him. So another one here. So this is continuous platform enhancements. There's lots of different things going on here. So we've got AI-powered improvements. So automatic audience expansion to reach similar users, enhanced delivery and algorithms. So we all know that AI is taking over the world. These platforms are bringing that AI into their platforms, and it's basically using AI to find people to help with our content, help with our creative, and generally try and get us better results. I'm all for it. I'm just thinking at the moment, the things I see in the platform when I'm doing all the ads is that it can harper us in certain ways, and we are still, in a way, sticking to our own abilities rather than relying on them, but they will get it, and I'm excited about it. Shops enable e-commerce directly on Facebook and Instagram. Real ads engage younger audiences with shorter form video. Lead forms simplify lead generation directly with the platform, but you heard that one's a no-go. I'm going to actually put a nice slice through that, as we're not going to be using it. And adapting to trends. Meta stays ahead of the competition by integrating emerging formats like AR and VR and in interactive ads. And like I said at the beginning of this presentation, it is, though it's frustrating and some things, and there are bugs, it's great to be able to use a system like Meta. It's a seriously advanced system compared to the other platforms with what it lets us do in its capabilities. So there we go. That's the presentation. So now the bit I'm going to go into now is actually showing you how we build an ad. Okay, so you can still see my screen here. I'm going to ask Precious. Precious, can we see my ads manager still? Yeah, perfect. So I don't want to start talking for another 10 minutes and then you can't actually see what I'm doing. Right, so this is an ads manager. So most of you you've been one of these, you've probably looked at it and gone, wow, what's going on? I don't know what to do. So I'm going to try and keep this really, really simple. And you're going to get a video recording after this, so you'll be able to watch this back. And what I don't talk about in this will be the stuff that you don't need to worry about. Nice and simple. So first thing we do is we look at our campaigns here, and we've got campaigns, we've got ad sets, and we've got ads. And we've got different breakdowns here and here. Now, you're going to get invited to something. So rather than me going into all this, I've got my own ads clinic community, which we're about to open, which is in a school community, and Precious, you just heard me there, is working hard to get that all set up. Now in there, I'm going to have a few how-to videos, and the 2 videos that are actually going to be uploaded are how do I change this for ecom and lead gen. Those 2 will be in there. So if you want to get access to that, then we'll provide you with a link. So first thing we do is here, we're going to create. Now, this is the bit that most people make the mistakes on first. We've got awareness, traffic, engagement, leads, app promotion, and sales. Well, app promotion is out. So unless you've got an app and you're going to go for app installs, this is a no-go. Don't worry about it. Awareness, you could put a really small budget on that and put an ad out going to everyone in the UK between a certain age and in a certain demographic if you want to, but you are not going to see any results from it. It will just be Meta just getting it out to the masses. It just doesn't work, and that's for another session on how the algorithm works. And you're probably still thinking, but if they're seeing the ad, why doesn't it work? Surely they're going to click through. It's not really the case. Awareness isn't there to get clicks. It'll be shown to people who aren't likely to click, and it'll be shown to those people, even if they are likely to click, they're going to be shown at different times of the day, etc. So they're getting impressions, but they're not in the mood to click it. There's lots of variables that go into it. Engagement works kind of the same. You can see here it's saying engagement has got conversions down there. Yes, it does. If you were to build an engagement campaign and then check your objective to be conversion, it actually switches into a sales campaign. So it's kind of a way around it. So you just need to ignore it. Traffic, this is the one. In anything we read, we're always going, oh, you just send traffic to your website. You need more traffic to your website. Get a better traffic. That word traffic is used all the time. So why would people not make that mistake and click the traffic out? It's the one we think is the right one. But again, you're just going to get link clicks. You're going to get bots. You guys are going to be presented to maybe the right people, but at the wrong times. They're not taking action. We want to be using leads and sales. Leads and sales used to be the same thing. It used to be called a conversion campaign. And then you would be able to click on a sale for ecom or a lead for lead gen. They've split them out now. So if you're doing leads, whether that's on Facebook or sending them to a landing page or your website to fill in their details, go for leads. If you're an ecom site, go for recommended. Here, it's interesting why this is showing recommended, because this is sitting in one of my Let's Run Social account, and we're not a lead gen provider, so I don't know why it's saying recommended. One of the many things that Facebook is going to confuse you with. So let's go to our lead gen, because we have been talking about creating leads. So you can see here, it now pops up with instant forms. You can send people's Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp, conversions, and calls, okay? I would stick to conversions opposed to any of the others, unless that's what you really, really need to do. So we go in here. Now, tailored lead campaign or manual leads campaign. I'm going to stick to the manual lead campaigns because it gives us more control. But I haven't got anything against you going down a tailored lead campaign, which essentially means that Meta has set most of it up for you, okay? Which is great, but I think you're better off learning how to do things the more complicated way to then know, because you might fall into some of its quote unquote AI supported things in here. I can't think of the right word. And they just break it a little bit. I'm not too sold, but you will get results. So let's go to manual. So in here, it's going to set up with our first campaign page. You can see here now lead, always name these things something that you're going to remember to do. Like, so if you're going to do cold, always set it up like at the top of funnel. And then you could say, and you're doing for lead gen, okay? Not lad, lead gen here. And then you're sending them to a landing page. Sorry, I'm doing one finger and not paying attention. Landing page. And then let's say it's 50% off promotion. Okay. So you understand what this campaign is about. Right, now in here, as I said before, if I don't talk about it, ignore it. Go all the way down here. The only thing I'm going to talk about on here is the campaign budget optimization. Now, this just means that either the budget is going to be split between this campaign going through the ad set and the ad, or if we switch it to your budget is now going to be the ad set. Now, if you're going to run multiple ad sets, I would definitely advise having this switched off and using the budget at the ad set level. In fact, I said that the wrong way around. Ad set level is now, if you switch it on, it goes to campaign level. I would stick to ad set level. Apart from that, you don't need to stick anything else on, unless you're in housing and things like that, in which case it will say to you, if you're doing any of these housing, social issues, financial products, you'll need to do that. It'll just, that's one of the things that you might, I've actually got 2 clients who actually came onto my 30-minute calls and they're now clients because of this problem here, and they're both in the housing market. So that is something where you probably need to go a little bit more advanced, and we will probably need a call. Otherwise, click next. Now, the next page is our ad set page, where we are going to then create our ad. So website, instant. So you've got all these other options. If WhatsApp, Instagram, instant forms, and messenger on its own. The 2 I want you to think about: instant forms or website. Now you can see how Facebook's trying to push us to keep on to platform because it's automatically defaulted to instant form. But as you know, on this presentation, we want to be going through to a landing page. Unless you really have to and you haven't got it set up yet, go to instant form. It's not going to be the biggest failure in the world, but I do know you're going to get stuff that you don't really want, or it is a load of rubbish. Website we're going for because we've got a landing page. Maximize number of conversions. Data set is going to be your pixel. So the pixel is a piece of, again, that'll be a how-to about pixels in our course, but you need to get a pixel, which is something in the back end of your ads manager where your events are. It's a bit of code and it goes onto the header of your website or landing page. And that is what you definitely have to have. It's really important to be able to track and make Facebook do what you wanted to do. So let's say I didn't have that as an example. I can't click up it now. Let's say that was blank. What's my conversion event? I want to go for a lead. If I didn't have a pixel in here, I wouldn't be able to select lead. So then you can't tell Facebook what you want to do. And essentially, in fact, you wouldn't even be able to get this approved. It wouldn't even publish. So you have to have that in place to be able to do anything. Okay. Again, there'll be videos on how to do that in our community. Right. So cost per result goal, leave it. Do not touch this. Don't put in there, I want a cost of £2. Okay. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to do anything good for you. You don't at the moment even know what your lead cost is. Plus, Facebook's algorithm is so good. Some days you might get £30 a lead. The other days you might get £7 a lead. Averages out to your average lead cost. If you put in there, I want 5, the chances are Facebook will just struggle to find anything for you, and your ads just won't perform. Keep going down. Now, this is the dynamic creative one I said. Now, this is the only thing that I would say switch on. Now, if you're in a newer ad account than the one I've got using here, it's not to say that I should have a new one. It's just Facebook deploys different things at different times. You may not have this, in which case, when you go into the ads creation, you will see something here called flexible ad. So if you don't see flexible, it means you've got dynamic creative. If you haven't, it'll say flexible. Now, because I've got dynamic creative, it's a good thing. If you do have dynamic creative, you're actually going to enjoy running the ads in the way I show you, because you can find out so much more about what people are doing. So we're going to switch this on. Now, this means that we can now put multiple creative into our ad and break it down. Now, I talked about the daily budget is in the ad set area. So this highlighted bit, now it's in the ad set area, not in the campaign level. So it means that we could actually have multiple ad sets with multiple ads in, and we can give them all their own budget. So we leave that there. This bit you can do if you want to do from today, and you've got like, I don't know, a special offer and you want it to run till next Wednesday, by all means, go in there, change the date. Budget scheduling, don't touch it. Please don't touch it. We don't need to. Ad scheduling, again, don't touch this. It's stuff that you just don't need to do it. It's advanced stuff, and there's more, not advanced to be able to set it up, but advanced to get results. Audience control. Now, this is going to be different in lots of things. On this one, I'm in the new version here where it says audience. We can select on UK, and we could also split that down into different locations. Show more options, don't worry about it. So at the moment, unless you want to exclude some audiences, but in a minute, I'm going to show you why you would exclude that. Audience suggestion optional. This is like your interests, but we are going to go through to switch to original. Now, again, Facebook's wanting us to use its Advantage Plus. Don't agree with it. this session's about using its original. I want you to go to the original, and now this changes. So now we see this, how we've seen it for the last 5 years, okay? Custom audiences, this is where you can choose if you wanted to do retargeting, you could say, I want to retarget everyone, website visitors 60 days, okay? If you're going to do any retargeting like that, leave this demographic open and just let Facebook retarget. If you put something in here, it's also going to retarget people, but also have an interest in something else. And it's not something we do very, very rarely, unless we've got a huge audience, do we do that. So that's the retargeting part. You could also put exclusions in here. Anyone who's already become a lead or anyone who's already purchased your product would go in here. Age, if your product's only going out to people, like if it's a stair lift we mentioned earlier, you could do 50 plus. Gender, makes sense, do whatever you like. And then we've got our advanced demographics. Now we can either start typing in something here like stairs, see if that comes in. People under stairs, that's not right. Now, here we go. So already this has given me something different to what you might see. So this has changed the way it's not gone as in advance. So beforehand, I could put stairs in and loads of stuff would come in, right? Now it's already started getting rid of things. So you might need to now go down the suggestions. And you can see how this is now so much harder to target the people. So this is obviously relevance. It knows the sort of thing that my pixel is picking up on, people who already become leads to my business, people who've gone onto my website. All this information has been starting to feed through into Meta's brain, essentially. And now it's already giving me suggestions of things I should do. So it's telling me I should do this campaign. I should go out to page admins. Obviously, I'm trying to sell marketing and advertising on Facebook. So page admins of pages on Facebook would be a perfect thing to go to. Lead generation, business marketing. So you can see it's already starting to suggest the sort of place I can go to, but I'm not able to go in any further than that. It's a bit of a bummer, okay? Or you've got browse where you can go into demographics, interest. So have a play around with this. There is no one size fits all for this presentation. Just have a play around with it and see what happens. But the thing that I would say afterwards, make sure that this audience size is large. If this comes down to like 50,000, 150,000, even 800,000, try and get into the millions. Otherwise, it's just going to tarnish your results. Don't worry about the A/B testing unless you want to. There are other ways of testing that I like to do. That's again for another video. And placements, you can split your placements down to manual placements and split it by the all different places that your ad could show. I like to use the Advantage Plus placements. You're going to get better results keeping it in Meta's hands. And then we go, sorry, I've come on, there's my habit, but we go to next. And this is there when we build our ad. So you can see partnership ad, never have to worry about it unless you're in partnership with some other brand and you want to both getting involved on the ad, don't bother, very rarely gets used. Identity should also already pick up. If the yours aren't here, it means you just haven't set up your settings properly and you haven't pulled your assets into your business manager. Manual upload, Advantage catalog ads, that's when you're doing an e-commerce catalog campaign and you would have, that's a different video, that's setting it for e-commerce and that gets a bit complicated. You can still do e-commerce like this, you just won't be using your catalog ads. Single image. Now, multi-ads is something that always gets picked up by default. I always like to switch it off. It just means if you have this switched on, you're going to have your ad showing where a lot of competitors are showing as well. And I like to sit singly out and not be around my competitors. So I would have that switched off. You'll get better results. You can see here it's already switched on a Facebook form, which is confusing. So we actually switched off Facebook forms, but it has brought one in here. So if we go all the way down to the bottom, we can actually click on none. And because of that, some of this will now change. So it's manual image, single image there, multi-ads off. Right, here, select our videos, select our images. So if I was to go and build an ad, let's say I'm building this lead gen one, let's get one of my ads here, drag that in, and you can see now we've got an ad preview button. Now that won't happen unless I put a URL in. So if I go here and let's put in the ads clinic, or let's run social, let's just grab one. So let's date that. And let's go back into here. Once that goes in, it should allow us to preview. There we go. Pops up. So there we go. Now you can see part of this is cut off because this is actually a Facebook feed here. Facebook feed are in just, well, the best I like to use 1 by 1 a square, but the actual definition is slightly, as you can see, a bit more of a rectangle. But if you were going to do this, my advice would be build everything in vertical, 9 by 16, and then just make sure that your text or your head, etc., sits within this size. Then it will sit in all placements. Okay, that's my biggest part of advice. Again, that's other tutorials that will go into how you set up for placements. And I've actually got one of those in our course, so which is free, by the way. We'll send you the details. So that helps with that. So we've got our video in here. We can fill in our primary text. We can also put in different options. And you notice back in the ad set, I'd actually chosen dynamic creative. That means I can actually bring in more than one. So I could actually bring in a few things here. So let's get some more things. So let's say I want to do that one, just picking things at random here. That one, right? So I can bring in different videos, and there you go. So it's starting to stack these up now. And remember, if I said if you haven't got dynamic, it'll be flexible. Optimize creative. This is one that you do want to turn off. This will start bringing up weird text, thinking it's trying to help you out. It's not. Primary text. This is what you want to say above. So if I just put in some gobbledygook there, this will now sit above the ad. That's great. And if you do too much, you'll get a see more. Use that to your advantage to see, it will pop up. Use that to your advantage to see. So you get the most important part up here. Your offer needs to be up here, but always good to have your offer, blah, 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 blah. And then a reason for them to click see more, because that will help with your engagement because they click the ad. Short headline, that'll pop up down here. So I'll put a bit of gobbledygook in there. You'll see short headline pops up here. Description, I would put in this. If you don't put something in here, it will link to your website. And then if it doesn't link to your website correctly and pulls in some weird text, it will make your ad look rubbish. So here I'd say Facebook ads help or something like that. And then in here we could go book a 30-min call today. Excuse my capitals and stuff just for speeding up. Book a 30-minute call today, Facebook ad help, right? And then URL here, display link. That is just if you want your URL to look different. If I was to put in just let's run social with no.com and put that in here, you can see, and now it's changed to let's run social on the ad. Oh, that's all changed, but it has. Browser add-ons, we don't need any of those. Learn more. This is what I might just do sign up. You might be e-com and you do shop now, but you've got to choose. And depending on what certain things you choose on how you build these ads, these CTAs do actually change, which is a bit annoying. And then we've got our pixel here. So I need to choose my pixel of where I want the ads to go. And that is it. Once you've actually got that filled, you have basically built a nice, simple Facebook ad. You can press publish. It'll go into review. If Facebook's happy, which 99% of the time it is, your ad will go live. And there we go. We are just a little bit over, but we did start 5 minutes late. So we're now actually perfectly on time. I hope that helps. Again, if you're interested in me helping with your ads and you're already running ads, you can't get the results you want, things are annoying you, scratching your head, jump onto a 30-minute call. All you need to do is go to theadsclinic.com, which will go through to my landing page where you can book on a 30-minute call, get my calendar, and schedule it in when it suits. I hope that helps. Thanks for joining. And we will send you details in the future about our community when it's opened, hopefully very, very soon. Take care and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.